navigation bar you are going to build. This is a simple navigation bar we are going to build. Some drop downs and some figure effects. Let's get into it. Open a Visual Studio. In the Visual Studio, you create a new file called navbar.html. Make sure you are in your website folder, the tutorial folder you've been using always. Then you start by creating your basic HTML template. Give it some title. I'll give my title navbar. Then now when you want to create the navbar, this is what you do. First of all, create a div. Okay? A div and give it a class of navbar. I'll show you how to type a div and give it a class. Then in this div, create a nav tag. Now this nav tag is used in creating navbar, okay? Good. Now in this nav, we have first thing we will need is the first thing we are going to need is our img. That's our logo, okay? Here I have one logo here, just slash img slash we need this avatar, okay? And then after this img, create a UL. Now UL is a list, okay? UL you know is an unordered list, so that's what we're going to use to create our links. Every UL you know takes an li, right? So li, and in this li, it must have an a inside. Why? Because this thing, basically when you click on it, it should take you to a different page. So it's the a tag which helps you to take you to a different page. So it should have an a tag in it, okay? And a tag between the a tag home. How can you create this in short? So you just type li greater than a, hit enter. It creates both of the tags for you. Very simple like that, okay? Good. So type home. Then after this home, create another li greater than a of what? That one, it's called tutorials. Then the names I'm giving, you can be giving them your own. You can write home services about that and stuff. I just want us to create exactly what is here. That's why I'm using the same names, okay? Then you can see that the tutorials, it has a drop down that it also gives some links. So how can we do that? Then we go into the li, which is containing the tutorials. Go into the li, which is containing the tutorial. Then in that li, we create another list. So ul. In this ul is also going to take an li and an a. Okay. So in this tutorial we have HTML and CSS. We have another li a of SA, JavaScript. Now let me increase my screen so that you can see. Then I have another one like li a. Let me see jQuery. Now you can see that I have one li here and I have another big li here, but this li contains drop down. That's why it is having another drop down in it. Okay, good. Now after this drop li, we have another li, which is what the third li. Okay, so we are going to the third, which is a website design. The website design also have a drop down. Good. So the li here is having an a of web design, and this web design, as we did for the tutorial li, is also having a drop down. So you create a UL in it, and the UL should have an li, and the li should have an a. Okay, yes. Then this a, we give it front end. Here li a, we give it back end. That's the list beneath it. Okay, that's this list. This drop down is what they are creating, front end, back end. And the third one is others, but the others also have another drop down. We shall see. Now the third one is an li of a, okay, which is the others. And the others is having a drop down. So as we have been doing to the previous ones, here to go into that li in a sub li, and you create a link there, ul, okay, and this ul is going to have an li and a, and that a we're going to call it, let's say, the others. What are the others in there? The drop down list in the others. Lens works status. So you come here, you type lens with another li go to into the A tag works. Then we have another one LI A hey with ID LI A status. Okay. Good. Now after this web design LI, you can see that we have another two LI there, contact and feedback. So we go ahead and here type LI A. So which is the contact. We come in here, you have an LI, in the LI you have an A, you have what? Feedback. Okay, so this is what all that we need. This is all that we need. Now let's preview this about the HTML and see what we are having. This is what we are having. So in your case, what you are going to do is that you are just coming here, you right click on the navbar, you go to reveal in Explorer, then it will bring you here. Then you double click on the navbar and it will open it for you in the web browser, just as my own did. Okay, just that my own is a live server, that's why. So here, first start styling it, and to style it, you just have to create a link. Okay, link, and go to dot slash css slash. You don't have any style created for the navbar, so why don't you go to the navbar, right click the css, right click on it, new file, and you create navbar.css, so that when you come here you can say slash navbar.css and you can see you can good. So you come here, first thing you do is you test your body and see, just give it some background to check if our style is working. Hash 000, boom, it's black, so it's working. So you just start with margin 0, padding 0, some background. You know the background I always use for my body, hash C3, C3, C3. Good. We'll give it some font family of the first one, area vertical sans serif. Then after our body, we go where? After our body, we go to the navbar. So you come to the dots. Navbar. This navbar is just going to have what? The dot navbar is just going to have some, okay, margin of top, margin top. We are using that for digits on. So margin top of 0, top right of auto, top right bottom 0, left auto. So you see top right bottom left, but you can see that the top and bottom are the same, left and right are the same. In that case, you can just write it like this. So the first one is going to be top for top and bottom, and the next one is going to be for left and right. Okay, good. And then you leave it. Then you come here. You come to our nav tag. Now in our nav tag, what do? We just come to give it some background of hash. Here I'll use the TC3E50. Let me use this color. I want this color for my navbar. Very nice. Then I'm just going to give it some height of 10 VH. Now VH means the view height. So far as this is the view, all of it is having a VH of 100. So we're just taking 10 of it. Okay. Then we leave there, come to our nav logo. No, nav img. Okay. What am I talking about? We have this nav tag here, and inside it you have the img. So the img is what I'm coming to style here. So you give it some width of 50 pixels. That's what I want for my own. I want to give it some height of 50 pixels, and I'll give it some border radius of 100, no, 50%, and I'm going to give it some padding top 5 pixels, top right 0 pixels, bottom 0 pixels, and the left, let's say 50 pixels. And I think that's okay for my header. This is going to be. It doesn't matter. Let's leave it there. But here we use name Bentizone. and I'll show you how to use a name also. If you want to use a name, you just go in there, you change this one and type a name there. But let's use the background for now, the logo for now. Here, let me use 100 VH. Since you have been using VH, I think that's going to help. Yeah, that's nice. This is the type I want. Now let's come here. After the ing, come to nav UL, right? So we go into our nav UL, and our nav UL, what do? We want to remove that dot dot in it. We don't want the list style types. So list style type, change it to none, and it will remove those dot dots for you. Okay. Now we're going to float this thing to right. Okay, float it to right. And I think that's all for now. Okay, let's give it a margin. Let's see. Yeah, you see, it's too much close to the right. So margin right of like 30 pixels. I think that will bring it, push it away from there a little bit. Now let's go to the in the nav UL. We have nav UL LI. So the nav UL LI is what we are going to nav UL LI. Now this LI, we are going to give it position relative. Okay, the relative means it should be relative to where the image is. Okay, so as this here, it says if the image is moving, it will also be moving. Okay, good. Now we give it some display. We display it inline block. Inline block is going to help our this thing to display in this form. Okay, display inline block, and this is what we want. Okay, and I think that's all. Should we give it some padding? Some padding of like 0, 15 pixels. I think that's okay. Well, okay, let's leave it like that. Now we go to our nav UL li a. And nav UL li a. Sorry if we have typed it together. And then I'm going to give it text decoration of none. We need to give it line height of let's say 60 pixels. Mm, mm, Here we have to give this thing some padding of 0 and also a margin of 0. And that's why this thing is working like that. Now after giving it this, we give it text decoration of none. The text decoration is what will remove the underlines, okay? And you give them position absolute. Should we give it position absolute? Okay. Now here give it some position absolute. Let's see. That's what I have here. Okay, let me refer from what I did already. I've done it already here. In there, what did I give it? As UL line. I got this one. Okay, this one will float right. The UL will float right. Rather, the UL should float right. I did it. Here, display block, text decoration manual, and the padding. This thing. The padding here should be given to the A instead, and it should display block. Okay, that was the thing I missed. Display block. Good. I think yeah, that's what I've done now. That's what we've done now. So we go ahead, like relative inline block, and give it some background. Yeah, give it some background. Right. How to do the background? Hash 2C3EF050. That's the background I want for my district. Okay. Forget about where they are. Forget about where they are. That's all. Line height has been given, the padding has been given, text definition, everything has been given here. The nav also, the nav bar also, float right. Good. Let's start off now. Position a little display now. Good. ULI, ULIA. Now when you hover over this, ULIA, when you hover over it, you have some background. And that background color, I want to copy the same background color I gave it here. 243342 hash 243342. Now, from here, wow, why? This thing shouldn't be there. I think I'm missing something. Oh, this tutorial, I don't want it to be long. Okay, the nav URL should no, not there yet. Okay, display block, display inline block, position reality, display inline block, and the A should have a display block. No, the A shouldn't have position absolute. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was missing. Good. So this is it. This is what we have done so far. And the A, you should give it a color. Give it some color of hash FFF. Good. Now this is it. So you can see we have home tutorials, and the tutorials is having a drop down of HTML, JavaScript, and jQuery. You have web design, which is having a drop down of front end, back end, others, and the others is also having this drop down. Okay, and you have the contact and feedback, which doesn't have any drop down. Now, our nav, when you come here, our nav UL is also having a certain UL. Okay, those UL we don't have them. We don't want them UL. UL. We don't want them to display. So we give them some display none. Okay, yeah, give them some display none. Why do we give them that display none? Because we don't want them to display at all. We don't want them to display at all. The UL, we don't want them to display at all. So display none. And then we are going to just give it a position of absolute, meaning they shouldn't move due to where the mother tag is what? Moving to. Position absolute. They should be where they are, irrespective of where the mother tag will go. So now they are not displaying, and let them display for you to see where they are now. Position absolute means irrespective of where the mother is, they should always be at their definite place. They shouldn't go anywhere. This is where they should be. Then we go ahead and we tell it that they should display none. Now, when should they display? When you come here, you can see they are not displaying, right? Here too, they shouldn't. When you come here, you can see they are not displaying unless you hover over this. So we don't want them to display unless we hover over this. So how do they come? Now we tell this guy nav ULLI. We tell this guy that when we hover over you, okay, let the ULs, when you hover over you, the UL under you should have a display of block, display block. So now let's try that and see. When you hover over this, you see the ULs come. When you hover over this one, the UL has come. But when we do not hover over the others, still these ones come. How do we solve that? Then we are going to tell this guy that not all UL should display block. Only the UL which is under this LI. That's why we bring this greater sign there. Greater sign there. So you just come here. When you hover over this one come. When you hover over this, only this come. Unless we hover over the others for these ones also to come. Now that we are good with this, you can go ahead and start the nav UL LI. And this one, you are just going to tell it that it should have some width of 150 pixels. Now let's check them out. Width of 150 pixels, you see, good. Okay. And then they are going to have some, what again should we give them? Line height. We should make their line height 20 pixels. It's important to us. And then we are just going to tell that it should have some, let's see. Okay, now here when we hover, you can see that we are having some border of white, certain white, this thing comes in there, they go to the right. So how do we do that thing? We just tell you that this thing should have some transition of, sorry, transition of 1 second. Now this transition of 1 second is what makes it look like an animation. You see when it comes, it goes slowly, okay? When you hover over, it goes through. So we can call this guy, and you see that when we hover over you, when we hover over you, okay, you should have some border bottom of 2 pixels solid. Let's remove the transition and see how it's going to behave. Now, when you come here and you hover over them, you see it comes. Okay, the border bottom 2 pixels solid. You didn't give the color hash. Let's see. You see, it just comes. It doesn't show any slow animation or something like that. And we can tell it to have some margin left of 2%. And you see that it is going to happen fast. You see, just faster like that. And we don't want it to happen like that. We want it to go slow. So you give it transition. So how it should transit should just be 1 second, and it takes some time before it does it. Okay, good. Now that we are done with this, let's go to this one, this guy, and go over the others. It drops down, but under the same thing. So that's the third UL, right? We have the first UL here, the second UL is there, and in this second UL, it also have a third UL. So nav UL, the XLI is what we are coming to start. Now this LI, we want it to go left. Okay, when we hover over the other, we want it to go here. So we just give it some left of 150 pixels. We want it to go right rather, that's why I give it left. So when you hover, it comes here. Now we want it to just come and be on one line with the others. How do we do that? We already know that this thing is having a line height of 60 pixels. Where is it? Here. The LI is having a line height of 60 pixels. So to beat this 60 pixels, we are just going to subtract 60 pixels from the position of this. So the top should have a negative 60 pixels. Okay, now when you subtract that 60 pixels, it means come up one so that it can be on one level with this. You see, it was down the next level of this, and we want it to come up to be on one level with this guy. Okay, and now you can see them neatly done. This is our nav we've created. Now, what do we do again? You can see from here that it's having some caret, which shows that okay, in Hoover it is a drop down, and this one also having some caret. How do we do that? Let's go to our HTML. And in the HTML, we come straight to this place. The tutorials is a drop down, so we have that thing is an HTML code. The HTML code, what is it? Then confirm. Okay, it's here. X2B, X25B. Okay, so that's the HTML code for that drop down. X25B, and you end with a semicolon, else it will not come. Okay, and we give the same thing to the web design because it's also a drop down. We give the same thing to the others because it's also a drop down. Now let's go and check. This is our code and they are there. But the others is showing pointing downwards. Meanwhile, the drop down goes right. So how do we do? We change the position. Instead of B8, change it to B8. And the B8 is going to point rightwards. Okay. Now we are done with whatever we want to do here. You can go ahead and change the colors, change how it shows and behaves. Since I've shown you everything you need to know in designing a navbar. Okay, now let's change this logo in case you want it to be like this, a navbar brand with the name of the company or yourself instead of your logo if you don't have. Good. That one too. You just come, let's remove this and type here dot brand. Okay, and type like okay, Benton. I want to type Benton there. Now let's check. See the Benton is there. I just push everything here down and blah blah blah. Let's go install it. We can see dot brand. Why the brand? Because we give it a class of what brand. So you can see nav the brand. Still, it's gonna make sense. We have one dot brand there. Now you should give it the same style as we gave to our ULLI. Okay, we are going to give it the same style as we give to this guy, the LI, so that it's going to be on the same scale with the LI. So position is relative. It should display blocking line. The display blocking line, you can remove it. Only this is what we want. Then we give it the same as the A, the ULLIA. The line height and the padding is what we are going to give to it. So we come here, give it the line height of 60 pixels. Then you give it the padding of 0.15 pixels. Let's give it color of hash FFF. You can increase the font weight of it, font weight to be bold. And now let's check. Okay, using control them. Wow. Let's see what is it. How is it? Not allowing it. Brand. Why is not allowing our brand? Okay, this is not okay here. Why is not allowing our brand? We check on here. Line height is there.